Well, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world today, and welcome to Season 3, Round 6 of the eDTM. And we find ourselves at the beautiful Trial Mountain. So I'm going to quickly get all my bits set up, all my social medias, and we are going to be with you. Looking good to go. The Dirky Dirk, my digger. How the devil are you? I'm not doing too shabby, thank you. It's been a busy day. We've had a lot going on with the family, but happy to be here right now and commentating for probably the best Gran Turismo self-created league that is currently going. Yes, I said that, and yes, I mean that. We're on Season 3, and of course we have all the other seasons yet to come. I know that a few other people have been talking about it. They're looking forward to join Season 4. And of course we've got Richie with us tonight, which is absolutely amazing. Absolutely awesome that I can get to see Richie race. And we'll see how the drivers fare today for round 6. Now, Trial Mountain is one of my favourites, it must be said. Ian, how the devil are you? Good luck to everyone, says Ian. Thanks a lot for the comments. You're most welcome, Dirk. It's an absolute pleasure. Have a good stream, mate. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. And you too, have a great race. Oh, a little bit of lift there. And of course, we can't forget Goldman, who yet again is at the top. Now, for those that joined us for round 5 of the eDTM, we had an absolutely incredible race, action throughout the whole race, and not only that, we had such an incredible ending that it really does make for some exciting racing and some exciting watching. So if you are here today to watch events unfold, I can honestly tell you, you are in for a treat. We always have some good races, and I expect today to be no different here at the legendary, old school, classic, undeniably perhaps the greatest of tracks on the Gran Turismo series, Trial Mountain. And we can't forget Dougie, the absolute GOAT, Army veteran, joining us from the US of A. And again, I must stress how incredibly amazing it is that we're all together. We've all met up at these times all around the world here today to take part in the Gran Turismo 7 League race, organised, arranged and overseen by DTR, and of course we cannot forget Diaco, who started all this off do remember saying to him from the very beginning, I think this is going to be very successful. And of course, we've had some people come and go, we've had to kick some people, but at the end of the day, it really does create some incredible racing, and if you want to be a part of it, so joining the Discord would be a good way to go. Nevertheless, we are a few moments away, so I'm just going to quickly finish these social medias and then I'm going to be back with you all. So enjoy the sights and sounds of Trial Mountain in the Group 3s, and we'll see you in a few moments. And we cannot forget the legendary Moomin Papa joining us yet again in the beautiful black and gold McLaren GT3. Beautiful liveries, and of course if you're looking for a professionally made livery to custom specifications, then bestlivery.com is the place to be. I say so. And so does Luka Zavicic. 302 subscribers. 2 more subscribers. Amazing. Remember to smash that like on the way in, my friends. Really does help the algorithm and channel. DTR Richie is joining us in the chat. How are you, my brother? It's great to finally have you racing so I can commentate over yourself. Got myself a nice cold one so I can enjoy this event unfold. And we're most certainly going to be in for a treat today. And we cannot forget the legendary DTR, Diaco, DTR baby. Not my track, try not to catch my mistakes. So in that case, we will be on board with Richie for the entirety of today's stream. Okay, I do think we perhaps then seconds away now from qualifying. Godspeed back again. Had a few incidents in the last race. Okay, so we have Godspeed Prime joining us from South Africa today. We've got Nick, the M3 guy, currently in P2 for this free practice session in the beautiful looking white McLaren GT3 monster liveried, sponsored by the Beast. And we'll see whether Nick unleashes the Beast today. Here at Trial Mountain, crossing that line, and we have Mayak, the legendary Mike from Germany. So we should have 3 German drivers on track today in the midst of a British, American and a South African. And can't forget Ian, can we? We cannot forget Ian. Mikey, as he pulls that handbrake, it seems, with a beautiful 360, it must be said, as he goes into the left-hander tunnel. Very interesting corner, must be said. Really have to make sure you get that one right. I'm not sure if this is the Mike I know. I'm curious. Dirk, if you're still there, is this Mike from Rory's stream? Ladies and gentlemen, we are a go for the qualifying session here for Season 3, Round 6 at Trial Mountain. First out on track is... I'm not sure why I keep having to do this, but you do. Nick, first out on track. Lenore, fourth out. Ian is third. Goldman is second. Of course, we have the outlap, we've got the tyres, we've got the slipstream, all to consider. And it looks like we're going to restart that, so we'll have another dude leaving the pits first. What's happened? There we go. Mikey, the legendary GLR Mikey, the man, the dude, the king. Very good man that is Mikey. Great to see you, my friend. Thank you for popping by. And we can't not mention TJC Gaming in the house. Thank you for passing by, mate. Yeah, no, will do, Tim. That's no problem. Just make sure you get in touch with me if you don't hear from me, because I I have so much going on sometimes, I genuinely forget. So please feel free to message me if you think I may have forgotten, because of course I want to make sure we get it right. I am busy in the morning. Goldman first out on pits, but I'll be obviously ready for 2 o'clock. Really like that go stopping sign on Trial Mountain as we watch Goldman, who is the first to leave the pits here at Trial Mountain, and not only is he the first, he's quite a way ahead of P2 and Mike there. Of course we are on the outlap, so no worries watching them cross the start finish line on the outlap. So we will quickly run through the driver list here for round 6 of Trial Mountain. We have Nick third out on the pits in the beautiful monster McLaren, and someone else into the pits, and that was Godspeed. It was indeed. And how amazing that we get to see this in the night time as well. Going to be tripped some beautiful sights and sounds crossing that line, and now we are a go. Now Dougie is in the slipstream, plenty of cars in the back of the TV camera shots here as they come up to that start finish line here at Trial Mountain, into the left over the crest, which can catch you out and probably will catch someone out today. After all, this is racing and we do have tyre wear and we've got different compounds and lots to consider, so we may bear witness to a death or two. But of course, now Nick looking like he ran a little bit wide there, but we will just run through. We've got Ian in P5, and behind Ian in the McLaren we have Dirk DTR Diaco in P6. P7, we cannot forget the legendary DTR Richie Waterman. Joe P8, Lenore is rocking it in P9 for the outlap. Peter from Poland, the absolute GOAT, in P10. Godspeed Prime, one to watch. Caught himself in quite a few dramas as of the last race. We'll see how he gets on today, and Moomin Papa last out of the pits. We'll see how they get on. Goldman is coming up to the final penultimate corner as he goes left into the penultimate, and right, is he going to clip that apex? Yes he does, and close to that wall, looking like he had a pretty decent exit there as he comes to the start finish line and sets the bar with a 1:49.336. Mike takes P1 away from... No, he doesn't, sorry. Very nearly took P1 away from Goldman. Nick, P4. GLR Racer, 0.044 there. Just able to pip Nick in the M3 guy in P4, as DTR Diaco is just behind the M3 guy. And GLR Racer 0.044, loving the numbers. And not only that, he does have a little bit of slipstream to work with Nick, so perhaps that was partly why he just pipped a little bit of a speed there, but nevertheless we will continue. That is the game that is qualifying, and Peter from Poland rocking P8, a second behind Diaco, but it is only the first lap. Got to get warmed up. Of course, does take a lap to get the tyres to optimum temperature on Gran Turismo. Lenore P7, 2.6 seconds off Goldman there, but again, lap 1, Richie is 1.8 seconds away from Lenore rocking P9 as he makes his way through the tunnel. And DTR cars, we've got Ian in P11. just nearly 7 seconds behind Richie, so he's got a lap to put in, and Godspeed is, of course, yet to put that time in. Goldman, yet again, going through the penultimate corner here at Trial Mountain, makes it through the final right-hander and hammers his way to that start-finish line. Can he capitalise on the 0-1-5 here at Trial Mountain for Season 3, Round 6? Yes, he can. Half a second, and Mike is going to be second to follow. Can he capitalise? He's got half a second now to make up, and he's shaved time off, but it's still P2. GLR Racing has crossed the line. He's in front of Nick. Can he capitalise on a 0.712? 0.683, he's capitalised. 0.073, and still a 0.073, just under a tenth for Nick and Dougie there as they fight for P3 side by side for the start here on the second row. Joe just under a tenth, and Ian taking P4 as he absolutely smashes that lap after his 7-second deficit to DTR Richie, and is under half a tenth to Dougie, the American Army veteran, now in P4. Moomin rocking P3. He takes a podium P3 provisionally here for round 6, and the front right tyre there coming off the ground, absolutely sending it here at Trial Mountain. It'll be interesting to see what he can do for the remainder of his time that he has, but he has solidified his place in a P3, only 0.6 of a second to P2 of Mike. Going to see how the rest of those progress. Let's have a little look down the rest of the pack. Diaco, half a second between himself and Joe in the Porsche, where the Porsche and the Mercedes battling for P8 there. Crosses that line and is a tenth and a half ahead of Richie. Let's have a little look. Richie crossing that line. Still a tenth and a half to go, but it looks like he is right on the tail end of Ian there. As they go through a really fast section. Oh, yo, look at that. The suspension is at full extension there, and Richie absolutely sends it through turn 2 of Trial Mountain, and unfortunately runs off, but he has kept it. He had a pretty good job there, and he is still within slipstream of Ian, so he does have a good chance of capitalising on time. We'll see how he does as Ian makes his way to the right and introduces himself to barrier. Either that, or I think he was actually just letting Richie through. Trash Player, it is an absolute pleasure to see you, sir. Thank you for popping by. Alright, let's have a little look further up the pack. Nick P4, 10th away from Dougie. Dougie just ahead, so let's just keep an eye on P3 and P4 here as we watch them traverse their way through the remainder of Trial Mountain. Now, Doug has gone in the pits. Nick making his way to the start-finish line and not quite able to capitalise on his position, but he has knocked half a tenth off his time. Andy, it's an absolute pleasure to see you, my friend. Thank you for passing by. Goldman's still in P1. Let's have a look at these times then. So Goldman is 0.340 ahead of Mayak, the German driver. new to the eDTM series. An absolute pleasure to have this dude. If it's the guy that I think it is, absolutely lovely dude, great guy. And if it's not him, I'm sure he still is a great guy, but nevertheless, he is still 0.340 behind the legendary Goldman, joining us from the US of A, and you can most certainly tell he is on wheel. Looking at his inputs, hard on the brakes into the left-hand corner of the penultimate section here at Trial Mountain. Make sure you maximize track width, and it looked like his back end just came out on Goldman's Aston Martin there, and that's probably going to capitalize, not give him the lap time that he is going to want. And there we go, still 0.340. Richie allowing him to just pass. Peter is fueling up, getting a fresh set of tyres on. Dougie's still rocking P3, and Godspeed Prime rocking P3. I think someone's actually just gone into the pits. Goldman has obviously gone into the pits, but Godspeed is taking a provisional P4 now. But look at the time difference between him and Dougie as he comes up to the start-finish line. Is he able to capitalize at a .033? Yes, he is. P1. He's taken a P1 with a 0.182, but that will be P2 because I believe Goldman was 0.3 of a second. That's nearly just under 0.2 of a second ahead of Mike, putting Mike in P2. Getting excited with that lap time, he pushes it a little bit harder and unfortunately runs off, as did Richie a little bit earlier. But like I say, this is a very different kind of track, an absolute classic, it must be said, but you do have to drive the car differently. You really need to consider how the suspension is settling and acting, and make sure it's settled before we apply any more acceleration. Goldman is back out, so that's a point. So there's 1.5 tenths of a second there separating Godspeed Prime between P1 and P3. Mayak now in P3, and he's got a penalty, so he's going to go into the pits, probably get a new set of fresh softs to finish off his qualifying session here today. And Dougie P4, and he is now 3.44 away from Mayak in P3, and only a .622 from the fastest man around Trial Mountain here today, Goldman from the USA. So we've got two USA drivers battling it out here on track as Dougie makes his way through the final section. Of course, they both are driving the Aston Martin Vantage as he absolutely leathers the Aston Martin. Can he capitalize on P4? No, he cannot. Starting soon, so drivers are going to be now finishing their final laps. Let's see how they do. .221 from GLR racer Dougie, the Army veteran from America, and he has capitalized on his time but not able to capitalize on Dougie's P4, and into the pits he goes. Richie coming up to the final section of Trial Mountain here for round 6 of the eDTM. I do want all viewers today to really just enjoy yourselves and pay attention and put your awareness into the beauty that is Gran Turismo 7. Not only that, sparks there as we say that, not only that, we've got incredible livery designs with the ability to create liveries as we can in Gran Turismo 7. Most of them will be designed and spent time on by DTR Diaco as Richie makes his way through the final section into the right hand corner and up towards that start finish line here at Trial Mountain. Can he capitalize on his time? A 1.627. Yes! So he just took half a second there. I'm not sure where that puts him, P11, but he took half a second there. He's ahead of Nick. Dougie's still out, Goldman still out. Goldman is going to be next across, so we will keep an eye on Goldman. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we've got position set and we are seconds away from the green for Season 3, Round 6 of the eDTM at Trial Mountain, and the red lights light up. And we get the go, we get the green here for the eDTM. Every driver accelerating as hard as they can up to the first left-hand corner here at Trial Mountain. We've got the Porsche on the inside, Goldman on the outside. Is Goldman able to just hold off? Yes, he is. It looks like Godspeed Prime has a pretty good section there as they go through the crest. Very uncomfortable section. All drivers seemingly able to hold on. Goldman already taking that lead as Godspeed Prime is in P2. Dougie looks like he's got a pretty good line there, and applying that throttle hard on the brakes into the right hander. Let's just jump on board with Joe in P4 as we've got so much drama occurring, but we do need to quickly back out and back in because of the camera settings. And there we go. Okie doke, so Joe P5 going side by side with Mike, the German driver. I think he's just got the position, he's got that nose ahead, and he's on the inside line. Hard on the brakes of both drivers. Mike keeping that car straight, probably able to get a little bit more braking pressure on. Can he capitalise on the exit here, though? That is a real question. Not able to. Joe taking that position as they fight it out for the position here at Trial Mountain for the eDTM, and it looks as though Joe's had a pretty decent start. Dougie 1.7 seconds up the road and in slipstream range of Godspeed Prime. Let's have a little look at Diaco P6, a 0.444 ahead of Nick, but Nick with an incredible run there. Nick looking to make a move perhaps, as Moomin making a move as well on Lenore. Is he able to keep the position? That's the question. And no, he backs out. Not really the place to make that move and make it stick. Lenore into the wall, and I think that's going to give Moomin a good amount of slipstream range as Nick continues the chase. Lenore is in slipstream range of Nick as well. All drivers well and truly close there. Nick on the inside line. He's got the inside line. He's going to take that position from DTI. Diaco in P6 over the crest. What incredible moves. I mean, my heart beats when I'm doing that alone, let alone in a league race. What incredible action. And look at all four drivers now. Right, what have we got? Nick, Lenore taking position of Diaco. Diaco losing 2 positions. He's going to want to fight for that back. And Moomin, the 4th driver in this pack, as we could just see. Ian and Richie. Moomin off. Moomin into the water. That's going to give Ian the chance to be able to take a position here, as both drivers, Moomin and Ian, in the identical McLaren's there. Godspeed Prime still in P2. DLR racer Dougie, the Army veteran from America, still rocking a podium P3, but of course this is provisional places. We are only on lap 2. We've probably got somewhere in the region of 16 to 18 laps to go, but nevertheless Richie is doing an ace job keeping up, and what an absolute legend. Seal but not on track. 1 second is the lead for Goldman up in P1. Godspeed Prime is out of slipstream range, now under a second, now over a second. Very close racing, but he is going to need to get within that slipstream range and get out of pressure from Dougie, and of course Dougie is going to want to keep as close as he can to Godspeed, maybe even work together to give those drivers the best chance possible to hunt down the man that is Goldman up in P1. So we'll keep an eye on the American, see what he can do there as all drivers now enter lap 3. We're getting some purples here as well. Godspeed with the fastest lap, and into the first left-hand corner over the crest. Tyres all on the ground there. Keeping a very close eye to see that front right tyre, as some of the cars do get airborne on that tyre. Mike has found himself in P4. He's taken that position back from Joe in P5. So the two Porsches there will continue to battle it out for the eDTM round 6 here at Trial Mountain. Nick just within TV shot there, look, as the Porsches continue to fight it out, and Lenore 2 seconds separating himself to Nick in P6. And exiting the tunnel into a very heavy braking section. Front discs already glowing. So, Moomin with a set of unfortunate events there, and probably damage to the McLaren, who is now just ahead of DTR Diaco, and we've got Ian just in the rear end of Diaco's Mercedes. So we've got a McLaren sandwich here with Mercedes as the filling, as Moomin and Ian continue to traverse their way through lap 4. Goldman still P1, Mayak P3, Godspeed Prime is off, big damage, and another car into Godspeed Prime there, as he was just stood still in the tunnel. And I think unfortunately that's the second time he's unfortunately lost it, but I think someone else has hit him there and caused some damage. Nick P9, as Richie right in the tail end of Nick now, as Godspeed Prime finds himself in P11. So that means that Ian is now going to be rocking a P8, and we've got these three cars continuing to battle it out. He's got a very good slipstream range. Is he going to help? Going to give him a bump? No, they're going to go side by side into the heavy braking section. Ian very late on the brakes and into the barriers, and that is going to be damage. And look at the smoke that is bellowing from the McLaren's front right tyre there, as Ian very heavy on the brakes as he was side by side with Diaco there, not able to get onto the brakes in time, and that is some big damage there. And that means Richie's got a chance to make a move, but Richie's gonna have to make it happen. Richie's on the inside line and he takes the position. Richie taking that position there, but he is now fighting it off with Godspeed, and Godspeed taking the inside line. He's got the inside line on Richie. It looks as though Richie has given him the position, and we've had another incident there, and it looks as though a little bit of contact there between Richie and Godspeed, totally unintentional, and Richie giving him that position back, but nevertheless Goldman up at P1, just under a second still, 8 seconds, 6, he's in slipstream range. Dougie now P2 is in slipstream range of the leader Goldman, as we are finishing at P5 and soon to enter P6 for round 6 of the eDTM. Dougie absolutely rocking it today here in the Aston Martin. We'll jump on board for a few moments with the Army veteran. .85, 0.7. Oh, Goldman He got sideways there, and it looks like 420. He's got the slipstream range. Dougie is in for an absolutely epic chance of a potential podium here. And he gets the best lap going, and Mayak had got the fastest lap. He's currently the fastest lap king with excuse me, a 1:49.342. Oh, look at this around the tail end. And Mike in P3, keeping us steady. And chasing down the podium pack as he currently sits in bronze position and only 0.4, now 0.3 as Slipstream does its work. Decides not to follow Dougie, not sure why. Could have been an extra little bit of free time there, a little bit extra speed as well though, so hard on the brakes. What a incredible battle we have here as all three drivers fight for the podium pack. And 5 seconds between the podium pack, we have Joe in P4. Not that far behind. He has a very good chance of taking podium today if we see some dramas unfold with the podium pack. Lenore, another 5 seconds between himself and Joe. Moomin first into the pits. Mediums on, going to go for the softs now, I assume. Of course, all drivers do have softs and medium tyres to put on as mandatory. And of course, that does affect overall race standings, and you will always see drivers meeting each other as they finish their pit stops, and the different compounds come together. And it's really interesting to see actually what happens with the events that unfold in your race, the tyres that you have on and the choices you make. So Nick is rocking P6. As he continues to make his way through Trial Mountain. Absolutely lovely guy as well is Nick, the M3 guy from Britain. He has the Fanatec rig. Godspeed Prime working his way back up into P7. Clearly a quick driver, but seemingly always finding himself in trouble, which of course affects all of his races. So I think he is a very good racer. I think if whatever the reason is could diminish itself, he would most certainly be a podium pack contender. Beautiful livery as well on the Porsche. And we've got Ian in Jerry's the Tottenham Hotspur Swindon livery, football livery. Beautiful sound is the McLaren GT3. Godspeed in the pits, Goldman in the pits, Dougie P1 as we are on lap 8 for Dougie. Okay, so Goldman is waiting for the Porsche boys to do their job. Stick a new set of fresh sticky softs on. Michelin softs. Car is up, softs are on, the boys have done their job, the Porsche boys are earning their paycheck, fueling up and ready to go here for lap 8 of Trial Mountain. Now keep an eye on the positions. because it's going to be... Oh, who was that? Richie, unfortunately with an off there, but I do know that this isn't a familiar track for him. But nevertheless, Diaco is P9, now 5 seconds ahead of Richie, so not that far ahead at all, really. Moomin 2 seconds, or 2.3 nearly, ahead of exactly 2.3 there, between Moomin and Diaco, as you hear the bellowing Mercedes AMG V8 in the enclosed tunnel there. Ian in the pits. Moomin 10 seconds behind Ian. But it'll be interesting to see what happens here, because of course Ian is in the pits. Lenore also in the pits. So Ian's going to be coming out with a fresh set of softs. Lenore's going to be going out with a fresh set of mediums. Joe leaving the pits with a fresh set of softs. And Ian had on the brakes with the McLaren GT3. The McLaren boys earning their paycheck with that new set of Michelin. Rubber there, and that is a go, go, go. So Ian is now on the softs. Richie in the pits, and the Mercedes boys earning their paycheck. All drivers using Michelin tyres and fueling up, and that's enough fuel. So that's the shortest fuel stop I've seen so far. And Richie exiting the pits, and Dougie is still P1 in the Aston Martin. Okay, so keep an eye on GLR racer Dougie, the American Army veteran, who is in for a very good race here today. We'll see where he comes out on. Goldman is probably the guy to watch here. It looks like he's going to get a pretty decent lead on Dougie, actually. Okay, crosses that line. There he is. There's Dougie. Oh, who's going to make that position? Dougie leaving the pits, side by side with Goldman, but Goldman takes that position there. What incredible racing we have here. Absolutely incredible. I think we do have one more pit stop to go, perhaps. Unless it's just a one tire, but wow. Just wow. In fact, let's just listen to the sound of these cars. So Nick and Mike up in P1 and 2, assumingly still waiting to pit. 2.7 seconds separating Dougie to Goldman. Of course, we do need to keep an eye on Mayak, as he was in between, I think it was P2 in between Goldman and Dougie. So yeah, again, like I said at the beginning of this stream, we are going to be treating some incredible racing, and just listen to Nick's McLaren on the overrun, the overspool of the turbo there. And that's a pit stop for Nick. But we jump on board with a GoPro cam on the front bumper of Mike's Porsche, not pork. And very familiar sound, it must be said. I've used the Porsche so much, the Group 3. It looks as though he potentially may be stretching out his first stint just to see whether he can push on the last stint. Not exactly sure what Mike has in mind, but hopefully we can get an interview with the winner as well at the end of the race. Now 5 seconds ahead of Dougie is Goldman. Joe P4. Moomin P5. 2 seconds ahead of Nick in P6 as Nick exits the pits. And you can just see both cars in the same camera shot there. Hey, Clay! What an absolute legend. You're an absolute spanner, Clay. And you deserve the treatment you deserve, my friend. You absolute legend. It's great to see you here as we are closing in, I believe, on the final, maybe, I'm not sure, 5-6 laps perhaps. And we've got incredible racing up front. So, okay, right, I now need to jump on board with Mayak. He was P2 originally in between Goldman and GLR Racer. So we've got the 2 Americans and the German there fighting for podium pack position. So there we go, into the pits. Car is up, a fresh set of Michelin mediums will be on, fueling up as he has the least amount of fuel available. And out of the pits, where is he going to come? Goldman taking P1 away from Mayak. Mayak with an incredible strategy there, and I think it has paid off. He's not quite able to take a P1, but that tactic has putting up the road and giving him a pretty decent lead and a comfortable section between himself and GLR Racer. But of course we do have the rest of the race to unfold, so we will keep our eyes firmly on Goldman, Mayak and GLR Racer as they continue to fight it out, and anything can happen. This track can be brutal, but we have to say that Dougie is under pressure from Joe in the Porsche. So we've got the Porsche battling it out with the Aston Martin. He's got a great run here. Is he going to make the move? He's going to make the move. He's going to be side by side. He's not side by side. He's not allowed to take the corner, but Dougie's given him the space. He's gone side by side and he's taken the corner. Dougie's lost P3. Side by side they go again, and I think Joe cut Dougie off a little bit there because Dougie was side by side. Dougie did have rights to that corner. No major dramas, but I think Joe's probably not aware of that, especially when you're racing in the camera view, but Dougie did have rights to that corner. Joe's probably got a fresh set of softs on. You can just see Mike enter the penultimate section here at Trial Mountain as well. So Joe's in for an absolute cracking race here as we enter the final sections here of Trial Mountain's eDTM Season 3 Round 6 as we cross that start-finish line in the Porsche and begin lap 13. And he is reeling in Mayak, who is on mediums. Joe's going to be on the softs. We had a 4.440 there, and we are rapidly closing in. So Joe is now in for a shout of an incredible silver medal and a bottle of bubbly for P2 potentially here. It'll be interesting to see what Goldman can do. Dougie is losing traction, but again, that is the difference of the tyres, like I mentioned before. It's really interesting to see, especially when all drivers have finished their pit stops. 4.3 seconds is separating Goldman and Mayak, so we'll keep an eye on them. Moomin's P5, and also 5 seconds up the road from Nick, as Moomin and Nick, the M3 guy, both in identical McLaren GT3s here at Trial Mountains, or of course they do have to use the same car for the entirety of Season 3, but we cannot forget the legendary DTR Diaco, who is in slipstream range and is pulling him in. 8, 7, 6, closing into 5. Not quite able to get side by side as they go into the left hand corner here at Trial Mountain. Look at the size of these tree trunks as well. That's some big trees over there, don't they? That means a lot, Clay. You're making me blush, mate. But no, that really does mean a lot. And we've got a few more commentary videos coming, actually. We actually have a commentary. I'm doing commentary tomorrow for round 1. Sorry, not round 1. We're doing the 24 hours or mini 24 hours of Spa. So we're going to be doing 2 hours at Spa. So we're doing commentary tomorrow at 2 PM UK time. And DTR Diaco not quite able to hold on to that slipstream range of Nick. Godspeed Prime with the incidents he's had. He worked his way back into P7 but has now found himself in P8. 3 seconds are separating him, is the South African to the German, as the engines of the AMG and Porsche bellow out through the tunnel there. And we've got some action here as the cars go side by side. Godspeed Prime, what a move that was. I think Diaco went a little bit wide and lost a little bit of control there, and Godspeed Prime just sucked that one up and said thank you very much, and continues to make his way into the tunnel. Let's just jump on board with the bumper cam, listen to the sound of the AMG. Little bit of loss of grip there. But they continue to fight it out. We will check the podium pack. DTR Diaco, the absolute legend and the very good friend. Hard on the brakes there, watching the brake discs glow. Here at Trial Mountain, Lenore P9, Ian P10, and Goldman nearly 7 seconds ahead of Mike, who is in P2. And this is the battle to watch as we are coming up to the closing final laps. And Mayak is hot under pressure from Joe in P3. The German is trying to hold off the British driver, who is now under 2 seconds as he continues his artillery fire on Mayak in P2, and Dougie 2.5 seconds there, separating himself between the podium pack. He's still maybe in shout with a podium position, depending on what happens to the podium pack, if any one of those drivers do indeed make a mistake. But you can see Joe in the camera shot there. 2.5 seconds is a blink of an eye. Just takes a little mistake, and a well-deserved podium for Dougie, the Army veteran, driving the Aston Martin here today for season 3 of the eDTM here at Trial Mountain. And 7 seconds are separating him between Moomin. Of course, we'll just jump through the other drivers before we jump back on board between the fight for P2 between Mike and Joe. But Moomin in a comfortable position on his own there. No dramas occurring for him. He can just bring that bacon home. And Nick rocking P6, working his way back through the pack, and 5.5 seconds separating him to Moomin. Hey, how's it going, Jay? It's great to see you again. Thank you for passing by. And welcome to the finale. And the front right tyre coming off the ground there for the McLaren. We'll try and catch that on the next lap. And now Diaco is under pressure from Lenore as the Mercedes has to hold off the Aston Martin, and Lenoir looks like he had a different line there. Is he able to take position though, as they side by side through the left-hand corner? He's not able to make it happen there, but incredible driving there. Very gentleman-like lines, and point 2, and well and truly within the slipstream range, coming up to the 10ths. And we're into the 10th, hard on the brakes, right on the tail end of Dirk there. I think there was a little bit of contact, and he's giving him that position, yet moving left and right. I think that's sort of him saying sorry. But again, incredible action here today between the two drivers. Dirk running a little bit wide, that's going to give the Aston Martin a run, but I think he was a little bit late on the gas there. Of course, we do need to consider that the tyres are, of course, running low, side by side, side by side are the two Porsches. Joe's going to take that position. Doug has won the race, oh sorry, finished the race in P3, but the fight continues. What's going on between Mike and Joe? We're going to have to run through this. This is deafing my head out, but the race is finished. And Mike has unfortunately lost out that position there on the final lap. If he could have just held on, and it was a few seconds later, Mayak could have well and truly held that position off from Joe there, as the Delta has a bit of a moment. Moomin P4, Nick P5, Godspeed 6, Dirk P7, Lenore P8. Mayak is still chasing down Joe, but it looks as though he is out of reach. Are you doing the mini 24 hours of Spa, Jay? Okay, so those drivers look as if the positions will be standing. We'll keep a little eye on the map up at the top right, see if we get a spin, but it looks as though the legendary Goldman in the DuPont, number 24, Austin Martin, the American Goldman, is going to take a well-deserved podium position. As you can see, the checkered flag being waved there, and that is a big bottle of bubbly there for Goldman. 15 seconds nearly ahead of P2 Mayak, who I think is going to take P3 because Joe's going to cross the line. I'm confused. He's not P. Mayak P2. Where's Joe? Joe's P10. Oh, okay. So Dougie takes a podium position in P3. GLR Racer with an absolutely incredible performance here for the eDTM Season 3 Round 6 here at Trial Mountain. And yet again, like I told you at the very beginning of this stream, you will be treated to an incredible viewer experience. You will see some action, you will see some drama, you will see some side-by-side action to the very end and from the start, and what was offered here. So I do hope you have all enjoyed today's race, and a big congratulations for podium position Goldman, who is going to enjoy that Gold Cup and a huge bottle of bubbly as Mayak takes P2. Big shout out to Mayak, who I believe is in Rory's chat. I'm not sure what happened to Joe. I thought he was P. Well, I thought he was P2. Let's see if Goldman wants to do a see if they want to do an interview. I've saved it, haven't I? Yeah. Was I P2? I mean, it looked that way. Right, let me just get a chat set up. If anyone would like to join, that is part of this series, you are welcome. Of course, I do need to have my time to do my interview, but if anyone would like to join... Okay. And the man of the moment, Mr. P3. We have Dougie joining the chat. Welcome. Well, we're gonna watch now, but yeah. Either way, you know, you've took P3, a well-deserved P3 as well, I must say. You've had an incredible race. You was doing awesome at the beginning, keeping up with Goldman. It's been an incredible watch, but yeah, talk me through it. Talk me through it. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. So, what is Goldman's name? Bill. And I believe, Bill, you're in chat now? One second, I can't hear.
Thanks.
Hey, Bill, congratulations. You consistently are able to put down very consistent races, and you've took a well-deserved P1 podium position there. How do you feel? Talk me through it, and were there any moments that that got you worried?
Well, I knew in the beginning, when I was starting with mediums from first place, that key was going to be just to try to stay ahead or stay as close to those guys behind me as often as I could. Luckily, it worked out. I did get really nervous when you, Dougie, were coming out of the pits. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it around you both in the third.
Yeah, I felt the same thing. I mean, the time around, I was like, I don't want to just talk it out. I try to look behind me. Like, oh, he's there. And I was like, oh, he's still. Let's try to continue to come together.
That was probably your saving fuel strategy. That's how you got out. That's basically ahead of me.
I mean, I'm just watching the start here, and there was quite a lot that unfolded, wasn't there? I mean, I don't know for you guys, because you were sort of up ahead of the pack, but I believe... Yeah, so you're P3, Dougie, for the opening lap. Goldman is P1. Now, Godspeed Prime, I've noticed, he's clearly a quick dude, but he always seems to find himself in a little bit of trouble and finds himself at the back of the pack, of course letting the drivers behind him move up a spot. But it looks as though you guys actually got a pretty decent start there. Yep. Yeah, well, I mean, we've got Joe in P4 currently, just ahead of Mayak. Now, obviously, I'm going to skip through some of this and see exactly what happens, but you've took P3 today, but I don't know whether the stewards, after review, may give it to Joe. Hopefully we'll find out exactly what the case was here. But that was an interesting ending. I think They Call Me Jay did mention earlier, though, that happened in one of their races last week. Yep. Well, it was an interesting one that I think Goldman crossed the line and took P1, but Mike and Joe had to complete another lap. And what was interesting about the last lap was if it was a few seconds later, for instance, and they crossed that line for the race end, Mayak may have just held off on that position. So it's incredible racing, watching it all unfold. Do you know where you are next week? Sorry, not next week, but for the next race. Deep Forest. Oh, that's going to be a good one.
I think it's actually unless they changed it, I thought it was a nice speed range.
Right.
Either way, I'm not looking forward to that either, especially this Aston just hydroplanes in a straight line.
That was going to be my next question. Actually, you're both driving the Aston Martin, and I was going to ask you, Goldman, whether why you choose the Aston. What are your reasons?
I don't know.
It seems like a stable car. I mean, especially when you're driving it, Dougie, and you know, I've got you on stream and we're watching. Mm-hmm. Yep. 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 Oof. Now, I just want to jump in. Dirk, hello, it's good to see you. I'll be with you in 1 second because we're just watching the moment where Godspeed spins out. You take the position, Dougie, and then contact is made from some other drivers. So I just want to jump on board with that again. So he goes sideways. You just miss out on the inside line. He is off, and then boom, Nick. Oh, and Nick is into the side, so that's what happened. And who was that, Moomin? Just making contact there. So that's a lot of drama unfolding. But yes, Dirky Dirk, welcome. How are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. I'm now on GT Sport, doing some shenanigans with Richie at S3R6.
Cool, cool. How was the race for you?
Oh, a little bit shitty. But okay,
Talk me through it.
P8, I started P11, I ended P8, so I think that's okay. I changed the tires really early, so in the end they were gone.
By the way, is ECM Mayak the Mayak from Rory's channel?
Let's see, from Rory's channel, I don't think so. No, he isn't. No.
Right, okay.
No.
Okay,
I
wasn't sure if he's the Mayak I knew.
It's
but
Mike.
Mike,
You say Mike, just Mike. It's the German Mike.
Yeah. It's pronounced Mike in German as well?
Yeah. We know the M-I-K-E as Mike, and some German parents said my son should be called Mike in a German way, and so they spell it M-A-I-K. It's stupid, but okay.
Yeah, so you're into the pits on lap 4, because that's early, isn't it?
Yeah,
What made you choose that choice?
Yeah, because these soft tires are so much faster for me. And it could have worked, but in the end, I think I should have pitted one lap later. So it could have worked for me for P7, but yeah, no way.
get used to the track and then get the soft some. Yep. I think the way that I don't know what times multiplier you have on the tire wear, but whatever it is, and the medium and soft mandatory usage, it really does create incredible racing. Like watching, you know, the different drivers start on different compounds, go into the pits, and then come out with different compounds, and then side by side with some drivers, or they've got different compounds, so another driver will then lose a position. It's very entertaining to watch. I mean, we're on lap 5 now, and Dougie is right on the tail end of Goldman in the Aston Martins here.
Those final 2 corners were just with him.
Mate, just a moment. I have to leave now. I just want to say bye-bye.
Good to hear you, mate.
Yeah,
have a good
you.
night. Have a good night.
Hope to see you, goalie man, at the S3R6.
Alright. Probably pop in. Yeah, this is a very difficult track to pass at.
Well, it seems like Aston Martin is actually a pretty decent choice, but Goldman, I just want to give you a little bit more attention, a little bit more time, because of course you are the Gold Cup winner, and I hope you enjoy your bottle of bubbly tonight. How do you feel for the next race then, for round 7 of the eDTM at High Speed Ring? How do you think you'll fare there? And did you say it was going to be wet as well?
Yeah, it depends on how wet. I know the start of the Red Bull race, even though I know that was a wet race and I won, the McLaren jumped like 4 seconds a lap ahead of me when it was raining. There was that much of a difference because this Aston is just not good in the rain whatsoever.
Oh, is it not?
A little worried about it. No, it's really not. I was hydroplaning, just driving in a straight line. I couldn't even drive it. Some of the cars, they can get away with intermediates too, and the Aston, you just can't. You have to run anyways.
Bill, you're on wheel?
Yeah.
Yeah. What wheel?
I don't know, the Fanatec, whatever a new one is, the DD Pro or whatever.
Oh, you got the DD Pro.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. What rim?
Just the Gran Turismo one it came.
Oh, cool. Very nice, very nice.
First time having a load cell, so that's interesting. I feel like that helps a lot.
You feel like it does help a lot?
Yeah, because I was really bad for over braking a lot, and now that has calmed that down a bit.
So you just put that down to sort of like muscle memory because you can feel where you are more? Is that kind of what the load cell's doing?
Kind of, sort of, yeah. And like, you know, if you don't have the load cell, just the slightest push, you could be pushing the brake to the floor, and you really don't need to be doing that all the time.
I think that's probably my next upgrade.
I'd say I'm getting I'm saying I'm getting run over in the corners, but really it's because I'm braking too hard, you know. And now
Yep.
that helps with that.
Yeah, I've also noticed that Fanatec have released the CSL Elite version 2 pedals, where you get the accelerator, brake and clutch, but you get the version 2 load cell brake with that as well for, I think, is it €299? So I'm considering that myself. I think I'm going to stay with the CSL Elite, as much as I'd love a direct drive. You're still on the CSL Elite, aren't you, Dougie? Yeah, well, I'm just comparing Bill's and yours braking inputs here. So I'll just stick the display on. You can see that Bill is most certainly looking like he wants to apply specific brake pressures, which is nice to see as well. A lot of people that play Gran Turismo is kind of like on and off, isn't it? Just full braking, rather than try and maximize your entry speed in Apex. Let's just jump back on board with you. So Bill was P7, is now P4 as we enter lap 9. You're P1 now, Dougie. You got the racing softs on as well. There's still, I assume that the racing softs are still quite sticky, even though they're that worn. Would you agree, or? Interesting.
Pretty good. Like he said, under braking, though, you lose the front. I was losing the front end more than anything with the worn tires, but they really weren't that bad. I was too nervous this race. Like, those first 3 corners are so easy to make a mistake, and that's where I was losing a lot of time. Because compared to practice, on mediums in practice, I was running in 149s most laps, and then in the race I was running 150s.
Now you're in the pits, Dougie. Goldman has just passed you, and you exit the pits.
This is the part that freaked me out.
Let's jump on board with that view.
Oh man, I was scared right here.
And look, boom, there you are. I love it. Absolutely incredible. Side by side, I was like, is he going to take it? And Goldman Bill just goes boom into that corner, over the apex, and gets a pretty decent lead over you there. But that was an incredible moment.
Glad you looked, because I was just going for it. I was too fast at that point to do anything. If I had hit the brakes, I would have crashed. Yeah, I did it in practice. DJ was coming on the track out of the pits, kind of the same thing, and he was in a slightly worse spot though. I did it. I ran the wall. Yeah, I probably would have either clipped you or had to slow down. I was really hoping. Oh, I was just gonna say I was really hoping that Joe and who was that? Mike. I was hoping him and Mike were gonna battle just a little bit harder, and so that everyone was a lap down. That would have been. That probably sounds rude, but it would have been neat to see.
Now,
it probably would have been a whole different race if you had been able to get around me in the beginning, because you would have ran away from me most likely, being on the softs. I was surprised at the difference on the straightaway, just softs versus mediums. You were gaining like 2 to 3 tenths on the straightaway being on softs. And I was like, really? Why are the tires making that much of a difference in a straight line? I didn't really get that. And I noticed once I switched to softs, I was faster too, so I don't get it. I was, it feels slow, but I was running third gear out of that corner just so I didn't have to shift. I think that's what gave me a good run down this straight there. Save gas too.
on this moment that I've just come across was an interesting one. I'm only basing what I'm saying here off FIA rules rather than, you know, a Gran Turismo kind of race. Because, I mean, when I'm racing, it's really difficult to know exactly where the cars are. But the bit that I'm on right now, even though I know you're a few seconds behind me on YouTube, you just get squeezed there by Joe. And I know he didn't mean to do it, but you do lose out on that position there. Yeah, I mean, I think with regards to the rules of FIA, that wouldn't have been allowed because your car is already side by side before you're entering that corner. But I think just from observational point of view, looking back at that, it does look like his he knows it's going to be a squeeze. So we're coming into it now. He turns right, straightens up a little bit, and then tries to turn right again. But he's got that position and then carries on, which is, I guess, again, it's strange when you're in the moment, isn't it? But yeah. Yep. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I understand. I mean, well, yeah, also, I mean, he's P3 right now. We're in lap 13. We're nearly coming to the end of this race as well. Now, he ended, what was it, P10 or last or something? It's going to be an interesting one.
I think he's going to end up getting bumped to second by this stewards, because it must, like, he must have crossed the line at like exactly 0, and the game didn't know whether to end it or keep him going or something. I don't know. I didn't run near as good in qualifying as I was in practice either. I don't know what I was doing wrong. I think I ran as low as 148.2 in practice. I was nowhere near that.
Right, let's push this on then. So Joe's P3, stays P3, and we end the lap on 17 laps. So let's have a little look then, P16. So we're on lap 16, sorry. We're following Joe. He is P3. I can't think of anything as to why he would be penalised to the extent of going from P3 or whatever it was, P2 even, to P10.
I really think it was just a glitch. He used both tires and everything, so yeah.
There's a lot that needs fixing, isn't there? Yeah. It's a great game,
like
but
you said, the game got confused. It didn't know whether to make him finish third or let him run another lap.
Oh no, you had to do the lap as well, Bill. It wasn't over for you. It wasn't over for Mike or Joe. And they're side by side as they cross that line into the final lap there. And Joe actually takes... You see, this is my point, right?
Yeah, Joe crossed the line like at dead 0. 30 minutes exactly.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's incredible. Like if Mayak was able to finish that race there, he would have won. That would have been it. But he literally, to the blink of the eye, had to do one more lap and lost that position. Like, incredible stuff. It really is. But yeah, they're continuing to race. You finished your race now, Dougie. So you're P4. You go across the line. Boom. Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I had that same problem in practice. That's why I figured that out, because I only fueled for 16 laps in one of the practices I was doing, and I had to back it off, or I wouldn't have made it.
I can't believe how close he was to taking P2 from, oh, that's just unbelievable, bless him. I can't believe that. But you see, if you notice, as they cross that line, Joe's gone from P3 to P7 already, before the race is over. So as he crosses that line into the final lap, Mayak stays P2, Joe gets the position, but goes to P7. Yep.
My guess is, and what I would say the stewards should do, is look at that replay real close and just make sure that he did cross the line before the time was up. Otherwise, you know, he should be third instead of second. He kind of wasted a lap, but that would be up to them.
I do. I'm looking forward to the next round, I can tell you that much. It's been an absolute pleasure, Dougie. I appreciate you joining in chat, and regardless of result, congratulations on your performance, because it really was an incredible performance, especially, you know, you was keeping up with build for the entirety of that beginning, and you had a great second stint. So yeah, I appreciate it. So enjoy the rest of your night.
I didn't really notice. I considered, if you had gotten alongside me on the straight or something, I probably would have let you go, thinking that I could probably just ride with you and keep pace with you, and that would have been fine.
You're most welcome, sir. You too. It's been a pleasure. Ciao, ciao. Now, after starting the stream, or sorry, starting the race over again. He finished on racing softs and he's started on racing medium, so he has used both tyres as well. So I think, like you say, it is just going to be the glitch, isn't it? So I think Dougie is going to lose that position. But still, it doesn't take away from his performance at all. Bill, thank you for joining chat, mate. Congratulations on your win. I'm excited to see how you perform at high speed ring in the wet. That's going to be an exciting one from my point of view, sat in the comfort of my own home watching you all struggle. But I appreciate you joining chat, mate, and well done on your performance and you win.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fun. I guess we're going to GT Sport now.
Yeah. Happy days. Right. Ciao, ciao, mate. Ciao, ciao. Okie doke, guys. Well, I'm going to be ending the stream there. We have deciphered the race and what has happened with Joe. And it does look as though Dougie is going to be P4, but like I say, you do have to give credit to Dougie, an absolutely incredible performance. From the American Army veteran. And Joe, as you know, also big shout out to Joe. Incredible racing between him and Mayak. Lap 1, the side-by-side look, and they go all the way to the end and they continue to be side by side. So I want to just say a big thank you to everyone who has joined the experience, everyone that gets involved in the chat and says hello. I do appreciate it. It's always nice to see you and say hello. I know what's going on in the world, in the Gran Turismo community. But big thank you to everyone that smashed that like and helping me with the algorithm. If you want to see more of that, then please smash that like. We're going to be commentating tomorrow for a mini Spa 24 hours. If you are available and would like it, I think there are 2 slots available. I'm hoping to get a co-commentator, but if you would like, or if you'd like to race, just message me on Discord. Message me on Discord. It's going to be 2 PM in the afternoon tomorrow in UK time. 2 hours of Spa, and yeah. Thank you to everyone that's joined. Thank you to everyone that smashed that like. Thank you for watching the eDTM Season 3 Round 6 here at Trial Mountain. It's been emotional. I've been your host, TMK, and we will see you next time. Ciao, ciao.